We shouldn't be waiting for American market to help us. I feel like it is our responsibility to bring it to American market's attention. This is it.
Sergio Hortega is an actor, model, producer, and writer, a true citizen of the world. He was born in Iran and started out as a child actor there. Throughout his life, he's lived in Sydney, Milan, New York City, and now calls Los Angeles home. Sergio is not one to wait for the film industry to catch up to him. In our conversation, I get to pick his brain about accents, the state of Hollywood, being present, and how he approaches everything in life with love. Hey, hold on. Before we get to the good stuff, would you just take a moment, like this video, and subscribe to the channel? It really helps us out. And then also, you won't miss any of the exciting weekly conversations I'll be posting. Thank you. Welcome to Unmuted, where we explore how our voice and accents are so much more than just words. I'm dialect coach Audrey LeCrone. Sergio Hortega, thank you so much for joining me, and cheers.
Thank you for having me. Cheers. Good to see you in person.
This is our first time meeting in person, and
Yes.
since this is a show about voice, we're going to start out by just making sure that our voices are ready to speak.
Yes.
So is there anything that you do when you have an audition or a role where you prepare your voice, or a quick warm-up trick?
Yes, I actually did it before coming here. One of the things I do, I really stretch my sides, like on the right side, on the left side, my back. Try to expand my diaphragm so I can have more oxygen there. I bend over and stay there for a little while. I'm pretty sure we did this also sometimes in your class.
Yeah, I love doing that. So our sound woman is going to hate us, but we're going to do it real quick.
All
and
right.
everyone listening can do it too, because yeah, expanding that is so important. Okay, you lead it.
I'm leading it. We're gonna stand up. Is
No,
that all
we're
right
gonna
with
we're gonna stay sitting.
you? We're gonna stay sitting.
Because the camera guys are all like, what? Huh? No.
we can do it sitting too. Like I mean, these are simple. Like for example, the one I do is like I stretch this side and I count to 7 because 7 is the number of love. So
That's
7
so
breath.
beautiful. Okay.
7 breath on the right hand side, and then I switch it up to left.
Okay.
And I do like.
So if you guys are listening and not watching, we have one hand over our head. We're stretching on one side, and then the other hand is feeling the ribs that are expanding.
Exactly, and
breathing
then
into the ribs.
I hug myself like this, and I take like 7 deep breaths, and after that, I personally feel like there's more oxygen there, and I try to like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can do it all the time,
Yeah.
and then sometimes I work on my sounds like zzz, or even like ths. Zzz, or like ooh, ooh, and I can do these everywhere. I can do it in my car, or like sometimes I travel, and if I'm on a train or something, or even on the plane, like there's this one I really like. I take like inhale like 5 or 6 beats, like air, like. And then I hold it for like 2-3 seconds.
Okay, let's do it. Wait.
Yeah. So it's like
Inhale.
hold it for. Then exhale. So we did this 6. But sometimes I do like 10, I do like 15, and I do like 20, and I do like maybe several of these, depending on where I am. So I do it sometimes on the plane, like before just flying, or even before watching something, because if you want to really take in what we're watching, so you want to be present.
Wow.
If you go to a concert, I go to a lot of plays in New York. Before I sit there and watch the play, I warm up, because I want to be able to, like the tickets in New York are expensive. So if I'm paying for the play like $300-400 for a ticket, I want to be open. I want to be as open as possible to take everything in as an artist, because also like we are part of the show. Like it's theater, it's a live show. So
A living, breathing production.
We're all breathing together. So
Yeah.
what about if I can connect with the people on the stage and I can contribute to that? So
yeah, that's huge.
yeah, I'm not only the audience, you know, like I feel like I'm part of it, you know, like we're just sitting there, so we need to be alive.
Yeah, I really appreciate how you warm up not just for roles that you're doing, but also for life.
Yeah.
When you just want to do life better
Yeah.
and be present. Wow, that's amazing. Now, I have a first question. This is our icebreaker question, even though we've already broken the ice. But it's a very important question that I must know the answer to, which is, what accent do you think is sexiest?
What accent do I think it's sexiest? Oh, it's kind of hard, but I don't know. The thing is, I mean, when we talk about accents, we can say, oh, you know, Italian accent is very sexy because Italian, Latin is a very sexy language, or French accent is very sexy because French is very sexy, you know? But then I feel like the word sexy has different layers in it, so it can be so many different things. I feel like if a voice is connected and if the accent is authentic, it's already sexy.
Oh, I love that.
You know
I love
what I
that
mean?
answer. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like a different culture, it's different tastes, and sexy can mean so many different things. And if we can connect through their accent to their culture, to me, that is sexy, you know, because sexy exists in all the cultures.
That's why I say you're a citizen of the world, because not only have you lived all these different places, but you really see the world in this beautiful, connected way.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love that.
I say, you know, like I'm immigrant of the world. You know, anywhere I go, I'm the foreigner. Like even when I was living in Iran, people thought I was Indian.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, hey, they thought I was Indian, and this is a good thing, you know. Like I loved it, and I would go with it. I'm like, yeah, I'm Indian. You know, like I'm from.
Ooh, do you have a good Indian accent when you're speaking English?
I don't think so. You know, like I don't think. I mean, I try, but I don't like. You know, I feel like I'm not seriously good at it. But maybe it's just the way I look or the way I behave. But I mean, like even like for example, when I was living in Italy. Like sometimes because I was speaking Italian, they would think I'm Italian. So like I could be so many different things.
Right.
And since I was a kid, I would play around with people and I would go with whatever they thought I'm from. You know, if they would think I'm from India, I would play along with it. If they would think I'm from Italy, I would play along with it. If they would think I'm from, I don't know, Israel or anywhere else, you know, Lebanese, depending on how I dress up and how I am like behaving in that particular day. Or like what language I'm speaking or what sounds the other person is familiar with, so they can connect to. I would go with it, and I didn't know why I was doing this, but then later on I realized I like doing characters, or like I like acting, like I like to be something else at times.
You're not just weird.
Yeah, exactly.
You're an actor.
Yeah. Or,
Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
I love that you did that though, because you were helping other people connect to you through what they thought you should be. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Did you feel like it changed your personality when you were pretending to be all these people from different places?
I mean, the word connect is very important here because in reality, I really wanted it to connect with them. So I thought if you think I'm Indian and if I play along with it and I'm connecting with you and we're friends, I wanted to know, like, what do you think about Indians? Or like, I wanted to pick your brain. What do you think, you know, like I'm from Iran and I've been to Israel. When I would go to Israel, I want to know what Israelis really think about Iranians. Like when I was in Iran, I really, really wanted to know what Iranians think about, like, for example, Americans. I was really interested in the truth, you know, what people really think about each other. So I would position myself in a place where they would feel really safe with me.
Wow.
And they would tell me everything.
What'd you find?
I found, you know, like we're all the same, you know, like, you know, I found we have more similarities than differences. And I realized, I mean, hopefully we get to a point everyone can see that and we can celebrate each other's, you know, like maybe even differences. Because we can learn from our differences, and that's how we can expand. Instead of fight over it, we can celebrate over it. So that's what I found. I found like we have a lot, like a mom or love in all the cultures is the same thing. When I tell you mom, you feel the same way as when I say mom, for example, to someone who's from Africa, someone who's from Asia, someone who's from Middle East. It means the same thing, so we have a lot in common, and that's what I discovered basically.
Yeah, I love thinking about that because I love celebrating our commonness as humans, but I also love celebrating our differences of communities and those specific things. As actors, we know that when you're making choices for a character, the more specific you are, the more universal it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love thinking about both sides of this and weighing it out, of the beauty of both sides. Like, yes, we're all the same, but yeah, we're all different in weird ways. And cultures and accents and languages are also different as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so beautiful.
Yeah.
So how many languages do you speak? Or what languages do you speak?
I only speak 4 languages. I speak Farsi.
Only? That's just pathetic. Ugh.
Oh, no,
only 4. Please do better. Do better.
No. When I say only 4, because there are like billions of languages. We could learn more. I want to learn more. Like I want to learn maybe 2 or 3 more.
Wait, what do you speak?
I speak Farsi. I speak Italian. I speak Spanish, and I try with English. So
try. You're there. You speak perfect English.
Thank you. Actually, like English is my dominant language because I've been speaking English more than any other languages. Like my Farsi is like a 10-year-old kid, and my Italian is more like a businessman Italian. You know what I mean? So like I learned these languages in a specific times of my life.
Interesting.
To serve my life at the time.
Yeah.
The more like developed language I speak is English because I've used it in so many different aspects of my life, acting, travels, like business, everything. So
what is your relationship like with your accent in English?
I love my accent.
I love your accent too. I think it's amazing.
Thank you.
It's so slight and so beautiful.
Thank you. I love my accent. To be honest, I worked on my accent a lot.
Of your current accent or an American accent?
I mean, just to be clear, and then the more I worked on my accent, I realized it's also voice. It's also breath. If I'm not breathing well, maybe you're not, like I'm not really here, so you're not really, I'm not here enough, so you're not able to take me in enough. So it's like, it's not only the accent, is more like breath, voice. So then I realized I can work on my breath. So the deeper I can breathe, the deeper, because again, like when sex has different layers, present moment has different layers. So the deeper I can breathe, in a deeper present moment I can be. And that can help the space. And then on top of that, if I'm on my voice, if I'm not like...
Wait, what does that mean for our non-actor friends? What does it mean to be on your voice?
So being on my voice, it means like I'm not shooting, like I'm not trying so hard, and like I'm like, if this is the limit of my voice, I'm not like passing it. So like I'm not literally screaming at you.
Yeah.
Or I'm not speaking so low that you're falling asleep,
Right,
like it's not like overcompensating, or it's not
right. You're using your breath and your voice to come, your breath and your vibrations to come out as one.
Exactly, and connect that to the breath. Then coming to the accent, I feel like it's like a special sauce. Like I feel like like I don't know if it would be good for me to sound. I mean, I tried, and I still try. I strive to sound very clear. And be more, for example, Americanized and all that, like I can use like British sounds, I learned English from Brits first, and then from Australians, and then Americans, like anywhere I would go, like for example, in Australia, this means tank top. The tank top means singlet. I went to London one day and I wanted to buy a tank top, and there was one in the window. I went to the salesperson, I'm like, hey, can I, and I just got to London from Australia, and I said, hey, can I have a look at this singlet? So he came to the window and he looked at it. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, this thing? He's like, oh, you mean vest? I'm like, vest? Dude, this is singlet. couple of months later, I came to New York, and then I wanted to buy a tank top or a vest. So I went to a department store and I asked someone, hey, where can I find vest? They're like, hey, go to the 4th floor. So I went to the 4th floor, and they had all the suits and vests, formal vests. So what I'm saying is, like, I came to American, like, speech from like Britain, from like Australian or from like British pronunciation. So I cleared a lot of those, but more than that, I worked on my clarity, and I think I'm where I should be because, and also like I have like some sounds from Italy, like I have some sounds from.
Your accent is very ambiguous.
Yeah, I have like some Persian sounds in my speech, and I wanted to be there because at some point in my life I was these characters or people, and
you've picked up all these accents
exactly.
on the way. It's part of your journey. It's part of your identity.
Exactly. So I'm like, it should be there.
Beautiful.
So hopefully I find a character who's like, I don't know, half Italian, half Iranian, or like half Spanish, half Iranian. It can be like so many different versions. We have all these like ambiguous, or we have these like half something, half something else characters in the world, and I feel like this is my niche. To play all these like half something.
Have you found that the US market is open to that? Or are you finding a lot of opportunities for that in the US market?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, US market is trying to expand or go that way, but then another, like, see, this is again, to me, is a very deeper question.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, they're like, hey, what do you think? Like, for example, I don't know, white people, they don't write for us, we're brown, we're this, And I'm like, you can't think that way, because a writer is inspired by their environment. If their neighbors were all white, they're not trying to be racist against you and not include you in their projects. Their imagination is from their environment. So you're not in their imagination.
Their imagination is limited.
Limited to what their environment was. So I personally feel like I or some or other people who have been traveled or who are open to these other like variations in life, it is our duty and responsibility to produce, because my environment or my past was different to someone else who just, for example, grew up maybe in the middle of America, I grew up with, I don't know, Italians and Greek and Lebanese in Australia, like, and Australians, or like I lived with, I don't know, like Tunisian and Brazilian and Italians in Italy. So the way I see it is different. So that's how I'm going to express myself. And it is my responsibility. So like, to me, it's less of like, about like if America is helping us, it's our job, or it's less of like American market is, we shouldn't be waiting for American market to help us to get there. I feel like it is our responsibility to bring it to American market's attention that this is it, this is what's up. And if you write something like, for example, like the TV show Rami, this guy went to my school in New York, and to William Esper Studio, and he made this TV show Rami, which is on Hulu, and this is like, he's been doing really well. He's done like 3 seasons, and he made his own world, which his world is about an Arab guy who grew up in New York and Jersey, and he expressed that, and he gave birth to that world, and Americans, they can watch that. He's from his point of view. So. To me, when you say, like, for example, like if America is open, or the market or Hollywood is open, I feel like today, more than ever, we don't need the studios. If you make a good art, Netflix is ready to buy it from you.
Also, that's expensive, so it's helpful to have the studios.
That's true, it is.
So, yes, it can be your responsibility, but also it's others' responsibilities to get people like you in the door of the studios so that you get the backing and funding you need in order to spread this beautiful message
100%.
and these beautiful stories.
100%. Like, we shouldn't be waiting. It's more like we can be active. We don't need to be passive. It's more like a dance. It's like, hey, I'm dancing on my own. I'm doing these projects, and the studios, hopefully they would see the way I dance and they like my footsteps and they're like, hey dude, let's dance together. And then we can like have it together and then grow bigger from there.
Honestly, why I'm doing this show right now. Like, I want to highlight these voices from all over the world.
Yeah.
I want to highlight how beautiful this is to hear diverse sounds. And I want to make it so that all these lead characters are more complex.
Absolutely.
And everyone doesn't have to be expected to have a standard American accent.
100%.
We can embrace these different sounds and connect to them as well.
Yeah, 100%. And like people from overseas, they don't only do like limited jobs. I want to play all these characters. Like that's why sometimes I think I wanted to be an actor, because I wanted to be a tennis player. You know, like I wanted to be a boxer. You know, I love this. You know, I play tennis like 3-4 times a week, and I was thinking, why shouldn't I write about a tennis player? You know, like I can go and find a Iranian tennis player and find out what his life it was in Iran and where did he move to. Like I have one specific guy in my mind, and he moved to London, and I'm like, I could play a tennis, like a human who is from Iran and who is a brilliant tennis player. Like it's just an amazing character, and his life story and his challenges and all that. Or like I could be, I don't know, like I have like so many friends who are Italians. I want to play Italian character who is struggling with like breaking into, for example, music industry here. You know, I want to play a Mexican musician who's having a hard time to break into the business in America, or all these foreigners. I want to play all these characters who are a foreigner and they come to here, or like, because you know the funny part is like these foreigners, they come to America and they live here, and when they go back, they don't really look like the environment, like their hometown, their friends, their family. They don't look at them the same way. They look at them, they're like, oh, you're a little bit Americanized. So these people, they're in like half world. They're everywhere you go, you're like foreigner. You're not. So like I feel like we're all gonna get there. And that's how we're gonna be one world, you know? You know what I mean? Like how we're all gonna be from everywhere but nowhere.
That's interesting. Do you like that idea, or do you think that we should keep this base of where you come from?
I think if we all have a taste of different cultures, I think it's a great thing.
It creates more empathy, for sure.
Absolutely. You can connect more.
Yeah.
You know, like, for example, if someone, like, I don't know, like, if they talk about, like, I've been to a lot of places in America, if someone is from Maine, for example.
Well, okay, I'm from a town of 600 people in the middle of Kansas. I'm from basically a farm. And so half of those people in the town I'm related to. Love them. Hey, Bennington. But, you know, when I started traveling the world, it really opened my doors as well, of like, oh my gosh, there's so much out there, and there's so much beauty out there, and so much culture. And now I've worked with people from over 70 countries. And the more people I work with, the more I just soak in the beauty of the world and the beauty of different cultures and different people from all over, and everyone's stories. So like in any given day when I'm coaching people, I may be in 7 different, well, I don't teach 7 people a day. I may be in 4 different countries on Zoom.
Absolutely, I know. I was on one of those Zooms with you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's so fun. It's so, I know that it enriches my life so much and makes me have all the more love for humanity. I'm a lover as well, number 7 all the way. But it makes me feel so much more love for humanity
100%.
And more openness to hearing everyone's stories and connectivity.
That's one of the benefits of technology. So now we can connect to the whole world from our home. I remember like your classes. One of the reasons I actually loved your classes was because everyone were from different parts of the world. And although I was trying to learn neutral American from you, but I was also really paying attention to everybody else's accents. Like we had Italian, and we had one guy from Egypt, I think. So I was really curious about their accents too.
What I don't know if I did this in the version you were in, but what I do with those group classes most of the time is, in order for us to figure out where sound is placed, we try on everyone's thinking sound. So with a general American accent, I think with a sound,
Yeah.
but someone who speaks Spanish as a first language might think with a sound.
I hear you.
It's a totally different sound, totally different placement.
Absolutely.
Someone who speaks just French might think with more of a sound or something else.
Yeah.
And even people who speak the same language will have different thinking sounds.
Yeah.
So we try on everyone's thinking sound so that they can feel the different placements in their mouth and start to learn how to adjust sound in their own mouth because it's all weird feeling.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the hardest sound for me, that neutral schwa, that's
Well, yeah, for American it's like a dead open face. It's really hard.
It's so hard. In some words I'm able to do it, in others I can't.
Yeah.
Like other is the beginning of
Okay,
other
how you
is,
do it? Ready? Okay, how you do it is you have to relax your mouth, open your jaw so that there's about a pinky width of space in between your teeth. Relax your tongue, and now try it. There it is. Other.
Yeah, other. Yeah.
So the more effort you put into that sound, the worse it's gonna be.
Yeah.
The more you make everything dead, the better it's gonna be.
It exists everywhere. It's in everything, like
it's everywhere.
I didn't know that. I wish I knew that like 10 years ago.
It's hard. English is hard. The pronunciation is wacky.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you have for actors who are breaking into the business or wanting to do an accent?
I feel like if anyone is working on any character, first find a good friend who is from the accent you're trying to portray or copy, and then maybe use the technique you have to slow down. If you find a character, for example, on YouTube or in any movie, online, anywhere, you can slow down the video and then copy them that way.
Slow it down to 50% speed.
Exactly.
Then they are speaking like this. You pause it, and then you do it. They are speaking like this. You repeat everything exactly.
Exactly.
So your ear has time to catch up.
Exactly. I think these two, they work really well, and then really believe it and trust it and film yourself or record yourself.
Believe it and trust it. That's something you just kind of brushed over, but that's hard.
100%.
That's very hard.
100%, yeah.
Because you do have to bridge that gap and have that almost childlike mentality of and now I'm whatever I'm playing.
Yeah. But some characters, they come to everyone easier than others.
That's true.
It's also energy. Energy is like a virus, isn't it? If you're sick, I'm gonna pick up your energy and I'm gonna get sick.
Oh, I love that.
So
I'm not being sick, but I love that
exactly.
idea.
so energy is the same way. So we talked about believe and trust, right? So maybe find a friend who has a really strong faith. Be around them. Pick up that energy from them. Have a strong faith, believe, trust, and then mix. It's like cooking, get a little bit of ingredients from there, and then get a little bit of ingredients from the Italian or the Spanish or the Indian, Asian character you're trying to make, like your friend, and then put them together. And that's the craft of acting, and that's what beautiful.
Cook it all up. I call it a dialect spectrum, but it could also be a character spectrum where you find the extreme sides of your character, and then the middle ground is your character on an everyday casual basis, and then they might go all the way over here and they might go all the way over there, but you have that energy stuff to play around with.
And then once you find a really good base, a foundation, live with it. Go to a grocery shopping and be that character. Shop like that character, or go get a haircut with that character, or go to a bar and try to meet people with that character.
Which is so scary at first.
Absolutely.
I always tell people do it 3 times and you're just gonna turn bright red every time. You might completely mess up. It might be awful, but then the 4th time might be a little bit better.
Absolutely.
And the 5th time might be a little bit better and a little bit more comfortable. And just you gotta keep doing it because it's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird
you get better at it.
You do.
It's like any other muscles. You just get better at it, and that's why sometimes when I think about acting, I'm like, think about that 10,000 hours. And where can I actually find my 10,000 hours? Oh, I'm not on this on the stage, or I'm not on set every day. So where can I find that 10,000 hours?
At the grocery store.
At the grocery store, you know? You can go to the grocery store. Exactly.
Well, Sergio, this has been wonderful. I can't wait to see you someday randomly at a grocery store or at a coffee shop and you're only speaking Italian to people or whatever you're doing. I cannot wait for that day.
Yeah, that would be lovely, yeah.
I'll be something else as well. I'll be Australian or something.
Yeah, you should be.
I'll be Polish. It'll be great.
We both know, but we're not gonna.
Yeah, but we're not gonna tell anybody.
I'm gonna go with it.
Deal. We'll shake on it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, bring it in. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in to Unmuted. If you haven't already, please like, leave a comment, and subscribe. See you next time.